need to be
Yeah.
careful. Because like whenever there's a powerful text or powerful book, especially like spiritual ones, right? Really any philosophy, it could be bent in the direction we're already leaning. Like if I come
Yes.
looking for justification for anything, I could probably find it. And if I come looking for ammunition, I'll definitely find it. And that's not because the text is broken. It's because we bring something to it, right? We're seeing it with our lenses. The teachings are potent. They don't just inform us, they amplify us. So the real question isn't only like, what does this say, but what am I hoping it will say, right? And that's a
Yes.
humbling place to stand because it means growth starts with examining our own personal motive, not just quoting our sources. It's hard to be
Yes.
honest. It's hard to be very sincere. And that's what it's going to take to really. I feel like it's like you're digging in these spiritual books, but it takes real honesty, real sincerity, and real vulnerability, or else you'll just keep on hitting rocks and say, this hole doesn't go any farther. Right? This hole doesn't go any
Yes.
farther. I've hit the bottom. There's nothing but shale. No, you got to keep digging. You got to keep digging. You got to keep digging. And then truth starts to sprout up.
Hmm. I
Sincerity,
I yes.
vulnerability,
Vulnerability.
right? And
Introspection, honest introspection.
honesty. Yeah. What do you think?
Yeah. I think
Sure.
I like the way that she phrased this. It reminds me of the William Blake nugget that I believe we've read before, which was both read the Bible day and night. Do you know it,
Oh,
Raghu?
right. Yeah.
You know that one?
Both through the day. But yeah, but
Both
you
read
are
the
wrong and I
Bible
am
day and
right,
night.
or something like that.
Very close.
You are wrong and I am right.
But you read black where I read white,
Right.
right? So we're both looking at the same text, but we're walking away with it with very different ideas.
Right.
And that's good. You know, that's going to be common in spiritual circles. And how much of it has to do with the dynamic that she's speaking about, where it's like, I'm not going to this text to be transformed. I'm going to this text to be justified. You know, I'm going to this text to be so that my ideas will be supported. I read right
Mm.
over the things that contradict my ideas. I I don't even notice that they contradict my ideas, or I say those aren't so important, those parts of it. And then the parts that that seem to support my ideas, I grant those greater weight. That this is really what it's
Amplify.
saying right here. Yeah, yeah, we amplify that.
ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय
Live from the Govardhan Eco Village in Maharashtra, India. This is Wisdom of the Sages, a Bhakti Yoga podcast with your host, Raghunath, and co-host and senior educator at the Bhakti Center in New York City, Kaustubha, who's live in Mayapur. Welcome to the show,
Yes.
everybody. It's Wednesday, February 4th, 2026. 2026. This is episode 1729. Good morning, beautiful people.
Starting our
All
second
right, we
round.
made it. Our second round, me, Pranapriya, and Katie are here. And, this is this is my time to get inside. I'm working on my 6 Pillars of Bhakti book. I'm working on another book, sort of like The Journey Within, what that was to The Journey Home, I think. I think that's what it's going to be. I quite haven't put it down. Also working on regular classes I'm going to give, recordings. And
What's next?
and just building up my website with Katie.
What's the
Lots
next
of
thing you're
exciting
going to do
things.
classes on?
Classes on. It's not going to be a course. It's going to be a regular Monday. I'm going to call it Monday morning upgrades. What I call it?
Oh, okay.
Monday morning upgrades with
Okay.
Raghunath. 20 minutes. Way to upgrade your
That's
morning.
it. Okay.
Like that?
Upgrade my
I'm
Monday
going to try to
morning.
hit one a week. Huh?
Okay. Upgrade my Monday morning.
Yeah. That way we can do our podcast Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Boom. 4 days are covered.
We want to do Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday now. Okay.
That way I'll do Monday morning upgrades. It's sort of like the
Put that together.
get it?
Yeah. Okay. Exciting.
Yeah, it used to be Makeover Monday,
Yes, I remember that.
but these will be 20-minute little blurbs to sort of like shots in the arm. We'll see how it goes. I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try
Okay.
to work on them this month while I'm here, and it's nice.
Great.
I mean, if you saw the little cot, now this isn't a normal place we're staying. This is where this permaculture lady stays at the GEV, and it's in the middle of these farms and fields, and I don't know if you've ever seen a
See,
permaculture.
that's how I remembered. You're saying jungle, but I thought of more as like fields.
It's gardens and fields, but it's when you think of a garden, you think of sometimes a beautiful British garden. It's not that. It's like if you know a permaculture garden, it's like cardboard throw down piles of weeds. It's like the gardener knows exactly where everything is going. They're composting everything. They're working on soil. There's a pile of the manure. So it's not like pretty from aesthetic standards, but me and Prana love it. And it's big and open, and we have these gigantic windows, and we're looking out into the flower gardens right now and the beautiful
You're
mountains.
close to the cows.
Yeah,
Yeah.
very close to what we call the cowzebo.
Right.
There's a couple baby calves that were just born recently too.
Yeah,
Oh,
we had a fruit day today. We
Mm.
just ate mangoes for dinner and guavas for dinner, and we're feeling
Yep.
very wonderful.
good. All right. I'm glad
Yeah.
you're back and settled in. Is Maraj in town?
I heard he is, but he's leaving tomorrow for a few days.
Okay. He comes and goes.
Other than that, it's none of our people.
We've never relaxed at GEV before.
Yeah, we're always working.
Right. Okay. Well, you're supposed to work now too, Raghu. That Prana Priya
Yeah, it's different though
relaxing.
because we're not responsible for other
Sure.
people. I don't think.
Yes,
you
it's
know.
a different kind. Okay.
All right, so what's going
so,
on?
well, we got announcements maybe from Prana Priya, all right?
Yeah, let's get back to our regular time tomorrow for the podcast,
Which is
which will be 6:30 a.m. Eastern time, and
Okay.
5 p.m. India
Alright.
Standard Time. And I think that's all the announcements.
Well, easy enough. Then that could
Should we
take us
get
to the
into our
nugget. Yeah.
All right.
This is a very we got something to chew on here today, Raghunath. This is like a serious
Okay.
nugget.
Yeah, I like this one. This comes from Rachel Held Evans.
Rachel Held Evans. She's like a Christian writer, theologian person.
that's sort of a Christian name, held.
Mm.
Like
Held.
you were held by God, or you were
Right.
cursed to hell.
You've been held.
Held. You've been held. You've been punked. Oh yeah, you've been held.
All right. Rachel Held Evans writes,
Mhm.
if you are looking for verses with which to support slavery, you will find them.
I
If
think
you
she's
were
talking
looking
about the
for
Bible
verse-
now, right? If you're looking in the Bible, you could find these things. Yeah.
Right.
Uh-huh. Okay.
If you are looking for verses with which to abolish slavery, you will find them. If you are looking for verses with which to oppress women, you will find them. If you are looking for verses with which to liberate or honor women, you will find them. If you are looking for reasons to wage war, you will find them. If you are looking for reasons to promote peace, you will find them. If you are looking for an outdated, irrelevant, ancient text, you will find it. If you are looking for truth, believe me, you will find it. This is why
more.
there are times,
There's more to this. Yeah.
Yes.
right? This is still part of the nugget, right, Kaustubha?
Yes.
This is why there are times when the most instructive question to bring to the text is not, what does it say, but what am I looking for? I suspect Jesus knew this when he said, ask and it will be given to you, seek and you will find, knock and the door will be opened. If you want to do violence in this world, you will always find the weapons. If you want to heal, you will always find the balm.
Interesting.
We need to be careful, right? We need to be
Yeah.
careful, because like whenever there's a powerful text or powerful book, especially like spiritual ones, right? Really, any philosophy, it could be bent in the direction we're already leaning. Like if I come looking for justification for anything, I could probably find it. And if I come looking for ammunition, I'll definitely find it. And that's not because the text is broken. It's because we bring something to it, right? We're seeing it with our lenses. The teachings are potent. They don't just inform us, they amplify us. So the real question isn't only like, what does this say, but what am I hoping it will say, right? And that's a humbling place to stand, because it means growth starts with examining our own personal motive, not just quoting our sources. It's hard to be honest. It's hard to be very sincere. And that's what it's going to take to really, I feel like it's like you're digging in these spiritual books, but it takes real honesty, real sincerity, and real vulnerability, or else you'll just keep on hitting rocks and say, this hole doesn't go any farther. This hole doesn't go any farther. I've hit the bottom. There's nothing but shale. No, you got to keep digging. You got to keep digging. You got to keep digging. And then truth starts to sprout up. Sincerity, vulnerability, right?
Introspection, honest introspection.
Honesty, yeah. What do you think?
Yeah, I think
Sure.
I like the way that she phrased this. It reminds me of the William Blake nugget that I believe we've read before, which was both read the Bible day and night. You know what I
Oh,
mean?
right. Yeah.
You know that one?
Both through the day, yeah, but
Both
you
read
are
the
wrong
Bible
and I am
day and
right,
night.
or something like that.
Very close.
You are wrong and I am right.
But you read black where I read white.
Right.
Right. So we're both looking at the same text, but we're walking away with it with very different ideas.
Right.
And that's good. You know, that's going to be common in spiritual circles. And how much of it has to do with the dynamic that she's speaking about, where it's like, I'm not going to this text to be transformed. I'm going to this text to be justified. You know, I'm going to this text to be so that my ideas will be supported. I read right over the things that contradict my ideas. I don't even notice that they contradict my ideas, or I say those aren't so important, those parts of it. And then the parts that seem to support my ideas, I grant those greater weight. That this is really what it's saying right here. Yeah, we amplify that. And so, you know, yeah, we have to be careful. I often like to think, you know, you take a topic like karma, which can be a tool for making one say, I really need to be careful how I treat others. I need to be more sensitive, because now that I understand about karma, I know that anything I put out in the world is coming back to me. So let me move through this world very gently and learn the lessons I'm supposed to learn this way. Or
Right. You can become more sensitive, more cautious, more like
caring
for other people.
Yeah.
Caring.
Or it could be like, well, look at me. I'm superior to these other people because look, they have bad karma. They've obviously are not as evolved as I am, and that's why they're in the circumstances that they're in. So you could begin to, you know, use it more as a way to look down on others, or even be more cruel to others. And
weaponizing karma. Huh?
I'm sorry, weaponizing karma. You could. And I really liked when it comes to Bhagavatam, which is our main book. We find there, you know, right from the beginning, the sages of Naimisharanya in the first chapter, the first canto, they place questions before Shukadeva Goswami, who's going to speak the Bhagavatam. And the first thing that he does when he begins to speak it is he glorifies Shukadeva Goswami, his guru, and the person that he heard it from, the person that he heard the Bhagavatam from. And this quote, this is an easy one to remember because it's Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 2, Text 3. 1, 2, 3. And he says, let me offer my respectful obeisances unto him, Shukadeva Goswami, the spiritual master of all sages, the son of Vyasadeva, who out of his great compassion for those materialists who struggle to cross over the darkest regions of material existence, spoke this most confidential supplement to the cream of Vedic knowledge after having personally assimilated it by experience. Now, to me, that's a really important verse. And one facet of it that's important is he spoke it because of compassion. That was his motive for speaking Bhagavatam, because he cared about people, because he wanted to relieve suffering, because he wanted to provide that balm that if we're looking for it, we'll find it. And so if that's his purpose in speaking Bhagavatam, then whatever we read from Bhagavatam, we should understand that it's meant to be applied for that purpose, for the purpose of compassion, for the purpose of relieving suffering. And we have to, and so see it through that lens, consider it always in that light. If we're applying it in a way that causes harm, well, then we're directly countering the very purpose for which it was spoken. So that's one thing I think about.
And this is very common for, sophomores, people who are new, or freshmen, right? They're new to an ideology that's supposed to be good for the world, helping the world, be it religion or diet or care about the environment or just sort of truthfully anything you could use it for, where you're doing it for the right cause, and all of a sudden you realize you have a little something extra that other people don't have, and you become ugly and arrogant with it. And it's sort of like it defeats the purpose why you're actually doing it in the first place, is for self-betterment or to better the world.
Well, you say freshman, but I don't know exactly what you mean by that, because that could mean like a person that's been into this for like a short time or a few years. But it could also mean someone that's been into this for 50 years, but they're still a freshman at it.
Yeah.
They still haven't begun. One person may walk into this and 2 months in, they're really resonating with its true purpose, and someone else may be into it for 50 years and not really have understood that. It's supporting something in their life. I also found this an interesting nugget to read right now, because what's going on right here, right now, in Mayapur. Yeah. Well, the GBC meetings are just about, I think they start tomorrow, which means it's like the highest managers in the Krishna consciousness movement. They gather here once a year. They have their yearly
people manage the
international
institution.
meeting. Yeah. And definitely the biggest item on their agenda is a question that they've been wrestling with for some time, which is, should Vaishnavis,
women
or
Vaishnavas,
female Vaishnavas, female bhakti yogis, should they have the right, I guess you could phrase it that way, or, are they meant to? I suppose you could also phrase it that way if you want to, but are they meant to grant initiation, to serve as initiating gurus? And you have two sides on this issue. Now, both are reading the same books, but right? But both are presenting very different ideas, and both sides are very convinced that they're right, and the other side is not properly processing this information. And so, I certainly have my own ideas about this, and honestly, like when I try to look at this, I've tried to look at it very objectively. And here, to me, in my mind, there's no doubt, and for several reasons I can share, that women should not, phrase it this way, they should not be denied the that role. And here are some of the obvious reasons. One is that it's been done traditionally in our lineage. It's been there all along. It's been there all along. Another one, and this is
most famous, is Nityananda's wife was the Acharya.
Nityananda's wife, yeah. Now, perhaps the most important one is Srila Prabhupada, on several occasions, mentioned that it should be done. I want that all my sons and daughters should become initiating, should be able to be initiating gurus. He said that. He said on more than one occasion. He said there's no prohibition. So that's also very important. And then another, maybe the most essential one is that what our lineage really teaches, the followers of Srimad Bhagavatam, is that when it comes to bhakti, when it comes to devotion, true bhakti, true feeling, a true understanding of Krishna and who Krishna is, it overrides all material considerations, whether they're of gender or sex, whether they're of age, whether they're of any birth consideration. These things are overridden by the power of bhakti. I think that kind of thing is really essential. I think it's for, I could I could write a paper and give a more thorough thing. I'm just kind of skimming over it right now. But I think that without that, if women don't have, in our lineage, are denied that right, then I think, well, we should all be denied the right to even engage in this, because for most of us, we're Westerners born in meat-eating family. It's like somehow we're convinced that our lineage has taught, and Sri Chaitanya taught, that he didn't consider these things, and he elevated people coming from all kinds of backgrounds, all kind of births, to the highest positions, whether it was Haridas Thakur, Advaita Acharya also did the same thing with Haridas Thakur, with the Goswamis themselves.
The very thing Gaudius fought against has got nothing to do with your birth. Yeah.
Yes.
Can I give you my simple answer? Simple answer. I'll give you one answer.
Okay.
You want to hear it?
I do, yes.
Okay. If the person's giving you bhakti, they're your guru. If
That's
you're
it.
getting bhakti from this person, it's that simple. It's like simple.
Yeah.
You don't have to go any farther than that. If they're feeding you bhakti and you're hungry for it, and they're the ones you're feeding you, it's guru. We don't have to. We get so caught up in our head about this.
It's simple.
But my question is, what are their reasons for saying no? It's not.
Well, okay. Would you like to get into that a bit?
I'd like to.
We can.
Like
yeah. Well, here's. I can tell you they're linchpins. What they say it rests on. There's one commentary in the Bhagavatam where it talks about Dhruva Maharaj. And it mentions that Dhruva did not take initiation. Now, his mother gave him shiksha, remember? Dhruva was a small boy. He was distraught because he had been rejected by his stepmother and denied a place on the lap of his father, the king.
Okay.
And in a state of complete confusion and frustration and anger, totally distraught, he went to his mother. His mother said, "There's nothing we can do about this. She's got more influence than I do, but she said, don't bear any hatred, don't seek revenge." She started to act as a guru, right? Don't seek any revenge. That'll only bring more misery into your life. And go and find Krishna, who's in the heart of every living being. Find Krishna. That instruction was the beginning. That was guru. That was the first influence of the principle of guru in his life. But so in the commentary, Prabhupada mentions that he did not take initiation from her. And Prabhupada says because he mentions two things: because of the family connection that they had, that it was his mother, and he says, and because she was a woman. Now, I've recently heard that actually that's not what Prabhupada said into the dictaphone, but in the editing that got intensified. The fact that she was a woman kind of got magnified in the editing. So
this is their pillar, their linchpin, something that happened maybe 10,000 years ago or millennia ago.
Well, that's the biggest. There's some other things they use, especially drawing from other scriptures that are not at all essential to. We read Bhagavatam. That's this is where
right.
we can start to justify all kind of things. And if we go to Manu Samhita or other these texts, we're going to come up with all kind of ideas that we're not going to be able to do anything.
If we read Manu Samhita, we shouldn't be here.
Yeah. But, there's a thing, the difference between an instruction that is descriptive or prescriptive. You know, it's one thing to look at a text that's describing something that happened millennia ago, thousands and thousands and thousands of years ago, and describe it within its broad context. And there's another thing called a prescriptive order, where Prabhupada says, I want that all of my sons and daughters initiate. That's prescriptive. He's saying, this is what I want to happen in the future. He's not just describing something that happened in the past, but he's defining what he wants. And he's describing how he wants it carried out in the future. This carries weight. You know, to me, this is, if you took a debate judge and had them weigh the evidence of one side against the other, it's not even close. What to speak of, if you know, you have prescriptive, orders from Srila Prabhupada. You have the historical examples within the lineage of women initiating, and you have this broad and basic principle that the qualification for guru is defined again and again by one's qualities of knowing and understanding the science of Krishna consciousness. You know, what is it? Yo Krishna Tattvaveti Se Guru Hoy. One who knows the science of Krishna, that person is Guru Bas. So in my mind, it's not even close. But again, if you're, going back to our nugget, if you're looking for verses which will support slavery, you'll find them. If you're looking for verses which will abolish slavery, you'll find, you can look through it and find something. But I think if you look at it objectively, it's not even close. So we'll see what happens, But there's all kinds of political pressures. From what I understand, these are the rumors that I hear, it's not easy to run an institution, and all kind of pressures get brought up. I personally believe that things are headed that way. It's just a matter of time. I'm hoping that it'll be a matter of weeks rather than years. And that the GBC will be able to, that these people will be able to get together and come to a common agreement. Let's
maybe not.
Let's work together.
I will say I like our community. I think we're very forward thinking, but our roots are in tradition.
I think in our community, there's no question about a thing like this. It's simple, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
It's almost. I mean, I will say anyway, I'm just going to stop.
Okay. All right. We'll see what happens.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah. Interesting. Okay. Let's get into the Srimad Bhagavatam. We're in a good section here. Narayanam namaskritya naram chaiva narotamam devim saraswatim vyasam tato jayam udire. Before we start the Srimad Bhagavatam, which is every means of conquest, one should offer respectful obeisances to the Supreme Lord Narayan, unto Narayan Rishi, the supermost human being, unto Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, to Srila Vyasadeva, the author. Nasta prayeshu badreshu nityam bhagavat sevaya bhagavati uttama shloke bhaktir bhavati naishtaki. By regular attendance in class in the Bhagavatam and by rendering service to the pure devotees, all that is troublesome to the heart will become eradicated, and loving service to the Supreme Lord, who is praised with transcendental songs, will be established as an irrevocable fact. Om Gyana Tamarandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Madatam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. I was born in the darkness of ignorance. My teachers are opening my eyes. With the torchlight of knowledge, I offer my obeisances at their lotus feet. Reading from the Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 17, Text 15, the backstory of Kalia. That's where we're at right now. The serpent wasn't an ordinary snake.
No, he wasn't.
I'm going to jump in on 15, okay? Having regained their vital functions, Yashoda, Rohini, Nanda, and all the cowherd women and men went up to Krishna. O descendant of Kuru, even the dried-up trees came back to life. Text 16. Lord Balaram.
So why don't we say what's happening right now? We're still in the Kalia story now. Of that he beat down the Kalia serpent. The wives of the serpent offered their prayers. He began to offer his prayers. He gave the orders, and now everybody that went through this incredible emotional trip of seeing Krishna, being 100% convinced he was about to be killed, to fainting and waking up and seeing, oh, he was triumphant. Now they're having that vision, and life is coming back to their very hearts and souls and so on.
Hmm. So Lord Balaram embraced his infallible brother and laughed, knowing well the extent of Krishna's potency. Out of
Or he
great
was the
feelings
only
of
one.
love,
He was the only one that wasn't going through like a major. He knew Krishna's got this. This is not a problem for him.
Out of great feelings of love, Balaram lifted Krishna up on his lap and repeatedly looked at him. The cows, bulls, and young female calves also achieved the highest pleasure.
Oh
All
man.
the respectable brahmanas, together with their wives, came forward to greet Nanda Maharaj. They said to him, "Your son was in the grips of Kalia, but by the grace of Providence, he is now free." The brahmanas then advised Nanda Maharaj to assure that your son, Krishna, will always be free from danger. You should give charity to the brahmanas. With a satisfied mind, King Nanda Maharaj then very gladly gave them gifts of cows and gold.
Okay. Why don't we look at a little bit of what's transpired here? That in text 16, it said that the cows, the bulls, and the young female calves, it says that they also, Balaram is, it says, out of great feelings of love, he lifted Krishna up on his lap. So this whole experience has increased his feelings of love. But it's not just Balaram or his family members. Or it's kind of like everybody in this village is his family member in a sense. And not even just the humans, but the cows. So it says that they attained Padamam Mudham, the supreme pleasure. You know, sometimes we think like, what would it be? You know, there are living beings in the spiritual realm, according to this theology, that are like eternally animals, right? Like you're a cow.
Eternally.
but these
Never say that to
cows,
anybody. You're eternally an animal.
but and we think, well, God, that would be a problem, wouldn't it? Like, but these cows are experiencing pleasure on a level that we can't even imagine. We, in this human form, we've never experienced anything like this. So they are just diving and surfacing in the highest bliss, being a cow, being loved by Krishna and holding love within their hearts for Krishna. They achieve the Padamam Mudham, the supreme pleasure. They're relishing it in their cow hearts, you know. So you've got that going on, and then you have like all these residents in Vrindavan who don't, even though they just witnessed this incredible feat of Krishna, they're still not able to quite put it together who he is. And so they're advising him, you know, hey, you know, you're lucky that this happened. You need to make sure that your son won't fall into this kind of danger again. I think you need to give some charity, cultivate some good karma, so that this kind of thing won't happen again. Because that was a close one, you know. So they're offering their sincere advice, without really understanding who Krishna is, because that understanding would make it not possible for them to love him in the same way, to love him with such intimacy. If they understood he's all powerful, he's God.
Okay, text 19. The greatly fortunate Mother Yasoda, having lost her son and then regained him, placed him on her lap. That chaste lady had cried constant torrents of tears as she repeatedly embraced him. So if you could imagine the mother, a feeling of loss, like a mother lost her child, and all of a sudden the feeling of return. So, of course, all these so-called tragedies, a big demon, a snake, a giant tornado, all coming after this little boy. Yeah. It's an emotional roller coaster, whereas if that happened to us in the material world, we'd just be like riddled with anxiety. We suffer post-traumatic stress syndrome. But this is bringing to higher, right? Krishna in danger is bringing Mother Yasoda to some higher type of love. Krishna reuniting with the mother, like he's fine, another type of higher type of love.
Yes.
It's all right. Bringing more and more intensity because we, my friend, are living in the shadow world. And even the cows that are experiencing great joy, they're not to be considered cows like we know cows. We know shadow cows. We don't know real cows. These are cows of the spiritual realm. So they are also in a special type of spiritual high.
You know, you really, I think you touched on it when you said we're in the shadow world, or you let's say the reflection, right? And because you know, I had this experience when we were in when we were in the Eco Village when I was there last year, there right now. But there's some really nice young devotees that were visiting, I think, from Belgium, or no, from Netherlands.
Yeah.
And like, there's this one really nice girl, and I think she had been a devotee for less than a year. But I mentioned something to her, and the way that she responded, I said to myself, this girl is a natural devotee. Natural. You know, in other words, some of us come to this and we struggle with our mind and struggle to try to understand things. And some people, like, it all just
riddled
clicks.
with doubt.
Yeah, riddled with doubt, or how do I work this? I like so much of this, but I'm really struggling with that. And some people just like click, click, click. And we were
I've been waiting
talking
for
about,
this.
yes, and we're talking about this separation. If you read some of these texts, it sounds like, oh my God, these gopis who your Srimad Bhagavatam is saying are the greatest yoginis and are on the highest level of all spiritual awareness. They've achieved the fullest, not just liberation, but the fullest manifestation of elevated consciousness. It seems like they're suffering all the time. You know, it seems like they're constantly going through these feelings of intense separation, and they're crying these tears. I don't want anything like that. And you know, I had to say something that you kind of just got at, which is counterintuitive for us coming from the material realm, but we're living in a reflection. And like a reflection, it looks exactly like the source of the reflection, but it's totally backwards. And so
Backwards.
in this world, when we cry tears of separation, it looks just like the crying going on in the spiritual realm. But the internal experience is the total opposite. It's just suffering and misery. But somehow in the spiritual realm, that same crying and those same tears that look just the same are backwards, or let's say this world is backwards. They're the original state where
Sure.
you're feeling bliss in that state. And I said that to this girl, and she just clicked and she said, yes, you know, like she totally got it. This girl's a natural devotee. But that is an interesting
You park your car, your Chevy to the levee. You know,
But the levee was dry.
And the levee wasn't dry. It was filled with water to the brim. Perfectly clear day, no wind, and you can look in that reservoir and see your Chevy. It's right there.
Right there.
Wind. It's a perfect reflection. Try to drive that reflection. You can't. And that's the material world. The heart wants to love. Like, you want to drive that Chevy. The heart wants to love, but it's loving the reflection. And everything is just sort of, you can't grip it. You can't drive it. You can't. Everything just goes through your hands like grabbing water.
Yes. Yeah.
Like that.
Oh, Baba. So as you're saying, the dangers, we've just seen Krishna go through this danger and this kind of terrifying adventure. But this isn't just like a random thing that happened or some kind of accident, or it's being divinely arranged to intensify the spiritual emotions. Just as a playwright or a screenwriter creates all kinds of trouble for the protagonist in their screenplay to intensify the feelings that the audience feels for that person. This is playing out in the spiritual realm. And we're going to see Krishna, it was intense fear, and now it's intense elation and relief. And by the end of this chapter, it's going to shift back again, and then back again. You know, so it's like this constant up and down, but it's not the up and down in the material world. It's an up and down where you're in bliss. It just, the bliss just keeps going up somehow, which is also inconceivable. Okay.
It's inconceivable.
Yeah.
Okay, text 19. Text 20, I think.
Yeah.
No, text 19. Let me try 19. The greatly fortunate Mother Yashoda, having lost her son and then regained him, here we read this, but I'm going to read it
Yeah.
again, placed him on her lap. That chaste lady cried constant torrents of tears as she repeatedly embraced him. Because the residents of Vrindavan were feeling very weak from hunger, thirst,
What are you
and
reading now?
fatigue.
Oh, is this a commentary?
Text 20. Text 20.
Oh, you
Because
skipped
the
reading.
residents
Okay.
of
You threw me
Vrindavan
off there.
were feeling. Yeah, I'm trying to be professional and read it like it's reading instead of saying, then the king said. Because the residents of Vrindavan were feeling very weak from hunger, thirst, and fatigue, they and the cows spent the night where they were, lying down near the bank of the Kalindi.
What a scene. What a community, right? Let's all just sleep. We've been through a lot. Let's all just lie down right here and go to sleep on the bank
That
of
was
the
a
river
thing.
together.
That was a thing. You just sleep in the grass.
That's sweet, isn't it?
It is very sweet. During the night, while all the people of Vrindavan were asleep, a great fire blazed up within the dry summer forest. The fire surrounded the inhabitants of Braj on all sides and began to scourge them.
Okay.
There's two forest
Well,
fires
it's-
we hear about.
Yes, that's right.
There's two forest fires in Krishna's Leela. This is the first one.
This is not the
Then there was-
Davanalakunda one, right?
No, this is the other one.
Okay.
This is the first one.
But
And the
here we are
residents of
again.
Vrindavan
Like
woke up.
they just came out of this danger where they thought Krishna was going to die. Everyone felt this tremendous relief and joy and comfort, and let's all just lie down here and sleep together on the bank of the river.
Then there's
And the
more
next thing you
trouble.
know, yeah, they're surrounded by forest fire, and
This reminds me of the material world. Everything's good,
But it's the
everything's
exact
bad. Everything's a
opposite.
little good, everything's a little bad. Everything's really great, everything's really bad.
Yeah.
That's the material world, and the reflection is the spiritual world. That
yes,
rejoining Krishna, dancing with Krishna, embracing Krishna. Where did Krishna go?
Yeah.
And each
or
time
this
we're
is the
eager
reflection.
to find.
Yeah, but the source of the reflection is the spiritual world.
Yes. Did I say that?
You said that the
You're-
spiritual world is the reflection of it.
What is the
Right.
reflection of it? I guess.
No, this would be the reflection because that's the real substance, and this would be
Okay.
the reflection.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. During the night, while all the people of Vrindavan were asleep, okay, I read that. Then the residents of Vrindavan woke up, extremely disturbed by the great fire threatening to burn them. Thus, they took shelter of Krishna, the Supreme Lord, who, by his spiritual potency, appeared like an ordinary human being. All the Brijbasis said, Krishna, Krishna, Lord of all opulence, O Rama, possessor of unlimited power. This most terrible fire is about to devour us, your devotees. O Lord, we are your true friends and devotees. Please protect us from this insurmountable fire of death. We can never give up your lotus feet, which drive away all fear.
Who do you picture saying this, Raghunath? Is it his cowherd boyfriends? Is it the parents? Are they saying this to Krishna?
I
Is
think
it
it's the
girls?
parents, the olders. I see it as the older ones.
But maybe not Nanda and Yashoda. I don't think they would speak like this. Do you?
I don't think so either. At least that's me speculating.
Yeah.
Seeing his
Okay,
devotees,
maybe
the
let's
last
look at
verse.
the commentary, see if it says anything here. The residents of Vrindavan tell Krishna, if this deadly fire overcomes us, we will be separated from your lotus feet, and this is unbearable for us. Therefore, just so that we can go on serving your lotus feet, please protect us. All right. They're less afraid of the dying in the fire and being burned and more afraid of being separated
Right.
from Krishna. Okay.
That's pretty nice. Seeing his devotees so disturbed, Sri Krishna, the infinite Lord of the universe and possessor of infinite power, then swallowed the terrible forest fire. Ever see one of those flame eaters? It's like a magic trick where they eat the flame.
We have a
Krishna
flame
just-
eater in our community.
We do?
Kimmy Carroll.
Yeah.
Kimmy Carroll's a flame eater. That's right.
Yeah.
All right. Is that it?
Well, you didn't finish it, I don't think, did you? Or did you?
Thus ends that chapter.
That's it.
Yeah. Next chapter is chapter 18. Lord Balaram slays the demon Pralamba. So there was a
Pralamba.
problem. There was a fire. Krishna ate the fire. They called out to Krishna, dependent on Krishna. Woo. Queen Kunti
Yeah.
yesterday. Pull those up, Prana.
What were you
Let-
doing?
let's read
Reading
these
about Queen
prayers to
Kunti?
Kaustubha. We're just reading the prayers of Queen Kunti, and then we read them. They landed so heavy with us. We were thinking,
Oh,
Let's read them again.
You know,
We're
I
gonna,
interviewed Bhakti Vigyan Maharaj, and he recently wrote a book on these prayers. That was,
oh, did he?
you know, yeah. I interviewed him on the show about that book. I really want
Oh,
to
I
read that
wasn't on
book.
that show.
Yeah.
Is it in English?
Yes.
Okay.
Or at least it's translated into English.
Okay. All right.
What you got? So tell us exactly what you're reading.
So these are the prayers of Kunti. Everyone's
Srimad
devastated.
Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 7?
Chapter
No,
chapter 8.
Chapter 8.
Yeah. And everything is devastated. Kunti is there with Lord Krishna, all the survivors of the Great War. And they just offered Ganges water. Yudhishthira's trying to keep everybody calm because people are losing their mind. There's so much death. But there's a few
Okay.
people, like Yudhishthira, is very calm throughout the whole thing. Still lamenting in one sense. Just, I was reading this. My Lord, your lordship can easily be approached, but only by those who are materially exhausted. That
Kinshana
line
Gosha.
alone is so powerful. Your lordship can easily be approached, but only by those who are materially exhausted. You have to give up hope in matter.
Yes.
It's very powerful. It's a very powerful realization.
Give up hope and
um,
matter. Mara, get that one down. Pranapriya.
All right. One who is on this path of material progress, trying to improve themselves with respectable parentage, or improve themselves with great opulence, or high education and bodily beauty, cannot approach you with sincere feeling.
That's
Whoa,
and
that's
that's
such a
a
heavy
lot of
statement.
it's
It's
speaking about
everybody.
materialism, but even Vedic materialism, right? Like that's a lot of what
Sure.
Vedic materialism is about. I want to take birth in a good family. I want to
I mean, that whole idea of
be
like
learned.
that prosperity gospel. God wants you to
Yeah.
be rich. You know, it's hard to, if you have a material desire and you think that will give me shelter.
That's you,
Krishna-
Raghunath. You just put your finger on like a real. You expose that the shallowness of that approach,
Sure.
right?
I
Yeah.
didn't
If you
expose it.
think
Queen Kunti did.
okay, but if you think that that is what the Bible is all about, becoming wealthy. God wants you to be wealthy. You haven't understood what real wealth is.
Sure. So the next verse also very beautiful. My obeisances are unto you. You who are the property of the materially impoverished. That endorses the same thing. You are
Yes.
the property of those materially impoverished. You have
They own you right in
nothing
their
to do with
hearts.
right? You have nothing to do with the actions and reactions of the modes of material nature. You are self-satisfied, and therefore you are the most gentle and the master of the monists. Beautiful, huh?
Beautiful. You didn't hit the big one yet, though.
Well, the big one I passed, but the big one is there.
Let's read that one too.
Okay.
25.
25. I wish that all those calamities
So many.
would happen again and again, so that we could see you again and again. For seeing you means that we will no longer see repeated birth and death. A prayer for calamity. That's what we don't do. We pray to get out of calamities. But we can actually, I think it's safe to say, a lot of us can look back at our most trying times in life where we were just so desperate, we were calling out to God. How God conscious we were at those most trying times. And in the world of everything's going pretty great. This is great. Material world is great. It's so easy to forget God. It's so easy to think that I'm the controller. I've created my destiny due to my clever choices, right? And so sometimes you forget God when there's good karma. But when we're going through the pain of this life, if you're sufficiently pious, you think, oh, my Lord, I'm taking shelter of you now. And here they are, the heroes of the Bhagavatam, whether it's Queen Kunti, whether it's Gajendra, whether it's a serpent, whether it's the wives of the serpent, they're all powerful, powerful beings, and they're going through hell. They just went through hell in the material world. And what do they do in that hell? They take shelter of Bhagavan. And Queen Kunti, who's so realized, is saying, Krishna, you bring it on, because when the material world falls apart, that's when I'm so connected to you. This is yoga. It's deep connection. This is yoga.
You know, we have Sophie back with us today, and I'm just so proud of her because she's, going through, the struggle of having to deal with, disease in a tense way, and she wrote to me and said, she's gotten good news recently, which we're so happy to hear. And she said, I've never felt closer to Krishna. And it means she understood how to process what she's going through, the struggle of it. That's yeah.
I thought of Sophie today too when you said some people are naturals. I was going to say Sophie because Sophie had a devotee came into her high school class and started telling him, it was like a thing about religion. What religion are you? And he came and explained. And she said, oh yeah, I met this guy, and immediately said, yeah, this is for me. It's one of those things that there's certain people are naturals at being a devotee.
Yeah. I was really happy to meet him recently at the Govardhan Eco Village. His name is Mukunda. And years
From
ago,
Sweden.
he walked in.
Yeah, that's right. We met your Vartma Pradakshina Guru.
Yeah. Nice.
Super cool.
All right.
You're a natural, Sophie.
Very nice.
Yeah, and
Takeaways?
we want to offer prayers to our good friend Gauravani, who's going through some health issues right now too.
It breaks my heart. But he's also a natural.
He's a natural. Krishna's got.
It'll come close. It'll bring him closer to Krishna.
Krishna's got him.
Yeah.
Should we get into some takeaways?
Let's take it away.
You got some takeaways?
I do. Be aware of the lenses you're bringing to the Shastra.
Good point.
It takes honesty, humility, and sincerity to find the real truth.
Vulnerability too.
And vulnerability.
Any
Shastra doesn't just inform us; it amplifies our intention.
Okay.
Let your speech be the balm of compassion.
Oh.
Speech be the balm of compassion.
Like Shukadeva Goswami.
Like a truth bomb.
Yeah. Not that kind of balm.
Balm.
Don't seek. Yes.
Balm.
Don't seek revenge. Go and find Krishna.
Okay.
Krishna's pastimes increase all the love.
They do.
Yeah. Basically, yes.
Our biggest fear should be like the Brijvasis, separation from Krishna.
Yeah. I like that.
Give up hope in matter.
Give it up.
That was a big one, Raghunath. Right there. You defined
Thank
it
you.
well, I think.
Thank you. Ray Capo. Circa 2026.
It's hard to approach God if you're looking for shelter and material fulfillment.
Mm-hmm.
The quote is, approach you with all, what is it? With all sincerity. Or sincerely approach you.
Yeah. All right.
It's easy to forget God when everything is going your way.
Yep. Blinded by good karma.
And
Here we go.
we only know the shadow cows.
You only know the shadow cows. I like that one. Hey,
GEV might have spiritual cows here.
I think so too. Hey, prayers go out to Lindsay Scott's father who recently passed away. And, she called me up and she's like, Raghu, what do I do? And how should I process this? And this is what we do when we're going through hell. We call the devotees. We reach out to devotees. And that is an age-old process. Figure out, what do I do? How do I deal with this? The devotees help you frame it out. Maharaj Yudhisthira was doing this. We were saying the story of Queen Kunti, and of course,
Maharaj Parikshit's about to live.
Maharaj Parikshit's about to leave his body as well. So, all right, go on, everybody.